Hello, my name is Sabrina Cienfuegos. I want to tell you a little bit about my yoga journey. I became a yoga instructor about 10 years ago, and I've been practicing on and off, but I came to Jen because I really wanted to solidify my personal practice. I want to present myself as authentic as a yoga instructor, and meeting with her one-on-one was very helpful for me to do that. I now consistently show up. I did that weekly, and now I show up for her classes every Monday. And it's a crucial part of what makes me me, what makes me a better yoga instructor, a better human, a better single mother, a better interpreter, a better woman, because it helps me to balance the stress that I feel from my jobs. And I work about 70 hours a week interpreting, and also teach yoga. And also, I'm a single mother who just started teaching flamenco dance and started women's circles. So my plate is very full. And if I do not do yoga, I end up with my joints hurting. I end up grumpy. Not to say that I'm not grumpy sometimes doing my yoga practice, but I choose that grumpiness instead of the opposite, because sometimes the yoga practice helps you just move through your grumpiness, your tight hips, your sore hands, your neck and your shoulders, and anxiety, and all the things that come with our profession. So that being said, without a yoga practice, without it, I'm not balanced. I need it to maintain my flexibility, my strength, my composure, my to keep my stress at a good level. So, and a lot of people. It's funny because a lot of people will, they have no idea how much I work, and they'll say I don't have any time. I can't do that. I mean, I work full time. Okay, well, I work full time times two, and I'm a single mother, and I teach classes. Not to say anything that means anything, but that's what I do. So that meaning it's possible. It is possible to do. And not only possible, but it's self-care. It is what you need to do to maintain your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, all of it. So, well, I would say the beautiful thing about the yoga that Jen teaches is it gives you little things you can do in the middle of your work. So obviously I'm working a zillion hours and I can't always have an hour practice every day. But when I'm on hold with a doctor, I can do, the stretch where you enter the Badanguliasana. You reach your arms up above your head. If I'm feeling really tense in my shoulders, I can interlace my hands behind my back. I can insert those little things throughout my work shift, and they bring me relief. That's part of my practice. That helps me continue to work without getting all knotted up, at the end of the day. And it's essential to do those things during your work if you can, and that's something we can do as interpreters working remotely. There are times when we're on hold. There's times where we're waiting for a call, and it's not too difficult to insert those things, and it's super beneficial. But yoga is everything. Like, one of the amazing things about yoga is it there's specific parts designed for you to rest and integrate all of your practice. And with stretching, that doesn't exist. You're just stretching your muscles. There's more to yoga than just stretching your muscles. There's the breath work. There's the integration of everything at the end of your practice. There are many different things, but it's like my yoga vitamins.
Mhm. Mm.
It's not like I know my body's telling me I need something, and I do it, and I'm not just stretching, but I'm breathing and I'm thinking about all the cues, lean back in the heels, engage my quads, lift my chest, really imagine somebody's got my wrists and is lifting my arms up. All of the things, kind of becoming my own teacher in those moments, because I was taught to do those things. And they're little vitamins, they're little medicine that I can do for myself. And that's something I really believe in. I am very holistic in my self-care. So I choose to do these things instead of pain medication or those types of Western med things. There's value to, of course, to those things if you're in a lot of pain and you need them. There's not saying that they're bad, it's just saying that's my choice. And because that's my choice, I choose yoga as one of the modalities to help heal myself, not just maintain and stretch myself during my shifts, but it heals me because we with all of the stressful calls that we have and our job is so stressful, and we end up in places that are pretty dark and stressful and we are hurt and we need to heal, and yoga helps that. The little integration, doing a practice after a long day helps you integrate, bring it down, de-stress, get ready for bed. But during the day, those little moments help you not help the stress not get to a level that's unbearable. It helps your body not get to that point when you're hurting. Like you start to understand, oh, I'm starting to feel this way. My shoulders are coming. Okay, this is a time for me to do one of these yoga asanas to help.
Hmm.
Um, so as an interpreter, it's really pretty fantastic that you're working with an interpreter who's been an interpreter for many years and has been a yoga instructor for many years. There's just and it's nice to have a check-in too. Jen checks in, sees how you're doing, and is able to adapt the practice pending. There's so many ways to use yoga. Like the things that I have chosen are different from things that other people choose because, my issues are different and my goals are different than other people. But Jen has specialization with sign language interpreters. So that's a huge difference. There's no way that a regular yoga instructor would know all of the nuances and all the things that would happen to a sign language interpreter. They can guess, but guessing, you don't want a yoga instructor to be guessing, you know, you want them to know. And I'm a yoga instructor, so I know what it's like to walk into a studio and say, hey, these are my needs, and for the person to kind of pretend like they know, and that's not a good thing. You want somebody who really knows what they're doing, who's dedicated themselves to studying specific practice that benefits interpreters, has created a whole program for interpreters. That's something that you just don't find. Connected.
Mhm.
Feel like part of a community that I really belong to. I don't always feel like I belong to the yoga community. It can be very um standoffish, very exclusive. It's not always welcoming and very judgmental and very, not always, but it's just there's a lot of different yoga spaces that don't feel as welcoming to somebody who's coming there for relief, for community, for connection, for understanding, that you've been spending the day dealing with, being a vessel that's communication is flowing through, and it's not only affecting your ears and your voice, it's affecting your body because the words have, an impact, and the movement in the words, and it's most yoga instructors I don't think understand that. first of all, if they are under the care of a doctor, they should talk to their doctor. And if the doctor approves it, Jen is ready for you because she knows all of the different poses and how they can help. Not only one of the cool things about I never studied Iyengar yoga before, but one of the cool things about Iyengar is the use of the props. And Jen has skills with those props and can tell you put these there, lift it up, lift your leg, put the strap around, and then you're just like, whoa, like, and which makes it, and you think, oh, props. I don't want to use props. That's, I don't want to be, no, it's not. Props can make it hard. Like, you don't, definitely it's not easy. They're just tools to help you safely enter a pose and get the appropriate benefits from it. And Jen knows exactly how to help you do that safely. It's quite the experience. That's a tough one because I feel I I'm a larger yoga practitioner, and sometimes it can be tough, like I'm like, oh, and then I am spotlighted and everything, but I don't care because I want to show up authentically the best way that I can so that other people can feel comfortable watching. So if you go back and look at some of those recordings, I'm right there with you. I got a big butt, I got big legs and hips, and I'm still doing it. And I'm reaping the benefits. I'm able to get in the poses, all the things. As women, sometimes our weight fluctuates during our lives, and it's, but it doesn't really matter. You can still do yoga. So sometimes it's hard to be seen. It is, but I'm brave in those moments because the benefits are more important than any negative feelings that might be coming up about how I look. It's not how I look. I'm never treated any worse. That's like my own inner dialogue. And definitely it's worth it to just put yourself out there. And sometimes, and it's nice to be seen because when you're doing it live online, Jen watches and she will, hey, good job. Oh yeah, that looks great. Perfect. You want that feedback. It gives you accountability because when you're just in front of a video, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna, I don't know, lean back and have, right? There's nobody there watching. You want somebody to be watching. You want that accountability. You want somebody to be there and tell you the right way to do things for your safety, for encouragement. So be brave. Ability. I mean, there's been classes with you that act so grumpy, and I'm like, oh, but Jen's watching, so I have to do it.
And then what do you get at the end of that?
If I feel better, my aches are gone. I feel like I mean, I know it's worth it, and I don't know that I would do it if I wasn't on a live class, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's easier to do hard if somebody's there, like with you, supporting you, for sure. Yoga can be really hard. I mean, it could be like hard. I mean, just like any exercise, but especially if you've had a hard day. But it's very healing. It's a very healing kind of struggle because you struggle to get to the point of the end of your practice when you feel a release and in your stress and better in your body. So it's kind of like a little mini journey, which is like a necessary journey, especially after a hard day of work interpreting.